Hello, 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 everybody! Welcome back to Shoutcasting. Well, I should actually go back to Whispercasting. I'm still on vocal rest. Whispercasting with the Big Goose and a guest star of Baconator. Say hi.
Howdy. Honored to be on here.
Honored to have you here, of course. Especially as we're looking at your match right up first, because it was the first that happened chronologically, and I am desperately behind on my matchup analyses. Ha! Just like everything else in my life, I'm desperately behind. Okay.
Woohoo.
Um, we're just gonna jump right on into this and stop thinking about it. We have, right off the bat, we have Yuxi. Yuxi is the defensively biased pixie, if I remember correctly. Running a choice specs, max speed, timid nature. Do you know Yuxi's speed stat off the top of your head?
I want to say 80.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That could be wrong, though.
I'm gonna Google it. So, max speed 80 isn't slow, and with the choice specs, Psychic's gonna hit pretty hard. You're up against fighting and ground, so yeah, that coverage is probably just fine. Stealth Rock.
I was wrong. Base speed for Uxie, 95 with 130 defenses and 75 HP, and that's better than I thought.
95
I
is
used this thing, I forgot
dead
about
ass
that.
solid. 130 defenses and 75 HP is right around like Dusk Noir bulk, but with some decent HP. That's bulky, and in choice specs makes a lot of sense. It should be able to tank some hits. If you're using an offensive choice item, you either better be fast or be tanky, and this one's got a little bit of both. Levitate is great here because obviously the ground team is gonna struggle hitting it super effectively, or stab. Pardon me. Choice spec Stealth Rock, I always find kind of awkward. If you're gonna do it anywhere, I also don't like to stack it up, and it's pretty nice with the trick. You can trick, then Stealth Rock, then Psychic, if you really want to. I usually prefer my trick on a choice Scarfer, but that's nitpicking. That looks like a solid set, pretty well angled here. Is it just me, or does Dazzling Gleam being 80 base power suck?
Oh, yeah, it sucks really hard. It feels so weak. Like, it doesn't even feel like an 80 base power move.
It feels like it has 60 base power. Especially when you've just
Yeah,
come off using Moonblast. It's like, ugh.
I mean, Ironhead has 80 base power. That thing's, when you use Excadrill, it feels like it hits like a truck.
Yeah, well,
No attacker with Dazzling Gleam hits.
The issue is Dazzling Gleam. If you're using Dazzling Gleam, it's usually as coverage. Most fairy types have Moonblast, and you're going to use Moonblast. It's better than Dazzling Gleam. So when you're using Dazzling Gleam, it's kind of the fairy coverage they give to other attackers, which makes it feel really weak. I think it's partially because I've been playing Little Cup for a long time, and Dazzling Gleam's pretty standard on Abra, and it always feels bad.
The one fairy type I know of, though, is Tapu Koko, who has to use Dazzling Gleam as stab, and it's just so disappointing not having Moonblast on Koko.
A lot of times I use, most of my Tapu Koko sets, I like my Tapu Koko to kind of dart around, and it got play rough in Crown Tundra. So, I'm a big fan of physical Tapu Koko. Its electric stab gets a lot worse with Wild Charge, but I find it perfectly competent. If you watch my NatDex AG video, my Sun team actually uses a physical U-turn defog taunt Tapu Koko with Wild Charge.
Ooh, that's something.
that I mostly use to either pivot into my Mega Houndoom, because Mega Houndoom's notoriously very difficult to switch in. So I get the Sun Up with my Groudon, get in my Tapu Koko, pivot, pardon me, into my Mega Houndoom. We have a Choice Scarf Tapu Lele with Psychic Surge, because that's its only ability. Shiny.
No, that's not true. It gets telepathy. I think. Yeah, it gets another ability, but it's a useless ability in singles.
Okay. Timid, I usually run, like, modest on my special attacking Choice Scarfers. It's the default on Showdown is they do a plus speed nature with Choice Scarf. I almost never find it necessary to have a plus speed nature plus Choice Scarf. Maybe that's because I play Little Cup and it's all about speed tiers, and if you get your Choice Scarfer above, like, if your Choice Scarf gets you to, like, 23, you're just fine in Little Cup. You outspeed everything that isn't another Choice Scarfer. So maybe that's just my Little Cup experience, but I really like plus attack natures on my Scarfers. Moonblast, Psychic, Thunderbolt. Obviously won't do anything against the ground team.
Thunderbolt on it.
Yeah, I know, obviously you wouldn't know these teams, but neutral, resist, neutral. And we'll get to this Mienshao, because Mienshao is probably one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. An Energy Ball, obviously great here versus the ground types. Thunderbolt could probably be something else, but I mean, Tapu Lele's moveset isn't fantastic. I don't know exactly what it would switch to off the top of my head, and I don't want to make this video too long. Slowbro with the Rocky Helmet, Regenerator, Scald, Future Sight, Teleport, Slack Off, pretty standard Slowbro. Not a whole lot to say here. I like Slowbro with the Teleport, the Future Sight. It feels really good to use. Bold Nature's great here because ground and fighting are both physically biased, and if we look at these teams, well, his fighting team is actually 6 physical attackers. And the ground...
that's why one of the trick choice specs.
Yeah, and the ground team is 6 physical attackers. Is there a special attack on either of these teams? None on the Landorus, none on the Swampert.
Maybe on the Komodo.
Oh yeah, Komodo is packing Clanging Scales, the only special attack on this entire team. That's insane. I get you have physically biased types,
Volt
but...
Switch. Volt Switch on Cobalion, that's right. On Crop Duster.
On a Jolly Nature, which is minus special attack.
Surprised he didn't make that defensive. Or special defensive, even.
Yeah, this... we'll get to that. That's not the point right now. So this Slowbro is in. Oh my god. I mean, talk about a perfectly positioned pivot that can fire off Scalds, and Scalds against ground, Future Sights against fighting. Just, or Future Sight or Scald against fighting. It's just, wow, this is just a really well-positioned Pokemon. Thick the Mew, this is your signature defensive Cosmic Power Body Press Restored Power set. That's a brutal set. I mean, if I'm being entirely honest.
I love that so much.
That's a brutal set. Stored Power is it's gonna be very high base power. It's not gonna be...
260.
You can't really boost it.
Max.
260 at max, that's insane. It's not gonna get boosted, but 260 base power Psychic Stab off 4 special attack from a Mew is still gonna do shit ton of damage. And again, you're up against all physical attackers. Cosmic Power spam with a Mew can really tank out a lot. Mega Latios. I think this is... What Megas have you used so far for the Psychic team?
I think Latios and Alakazam. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure is it.
Yeah,
I might have
Latios...
used Latios.
Latios is probably a bit more better positioned here. You already have a lot of really fast damage in your first two Pokemon. And notably, this Soldu Latias carries some fast damage. The agility here could just give you a free sweep. I love it with the Ice Beam, Draco Meteor, Psychic. Well, this probably won't sweep because Draco Meteor is your best move. It's really more of a nuker. Both this and the Latias feel like they're kind of duck and weave, take out threats when you can get them in.
Mm-hmm.
The only Pokemon on this team I would expect to sweep would be the Mew, and even that I don't. It feels like it'll get whittled down at some point. Well, maybe not. With that 252 defense bold, I don't know. So it seems like, from what I'm looking at this team, we're going to see a lot of movement here. You've got two choice mons, so they have to keep moving with the teleport, and these looking kind of more like a duck and weave strategy. I'm a big fan of teams that keep things moving, have clean switches. It's just my style. One of the reasons I love Mienshao, but we'll get to that. So I really like this team. It doesn't seem super gimmicky, which means you know there's going to be a lot of gimmicky shit in the next team, because Baconator can't just pack no gimmicky shit. That's not how it works here. So
Yeah, I can't just settle for that Mew.
We've got Falconer, but so much better. Flying team. I love Mantine. Oh my god. Okay. Mantine has an absolutely monstrous special defense of 130, I believe. I mean, it's like...
Yeah, I think so.
It's Goodra level bulky on the special side, but it's a very different typing, and it gets access to Defog and Scald, which makes it a really great tank against all special moves except for electric moves, which it still can't take because it's quad weak, but you know. I just think it's also super cute. I love Mantine. I'm a big Mantine fan, and I like this Mantine set. It's going to be bulky as hell, be able to brick wall lots of things and hit ice beams and Scalds. Mwah, love Mantine. If, like, my top Pokemon list includes... Mantine is probably, like, my top 20 Pokemon, because it reminds me of one of my, like, top 3 Pokemon. I am a huge fan of Goodra. It was one of the first Pokemon I ever used to beat the shit out of people beat the shit out of my friends, really, on Pokemon Showdown. Nobody could break my Assault Vest Goodra, and it just dealt so much damage, and it's so gorgeous. Mega Aerodactyl, I believe you've brought this for every flying team, right?
Except for the first one when I brought Megazard Y.
Ah, yeah, it's interesting to see Aerodactyl here. To see Aerodactyl be your consistent pick, there's some really strong flying Megas. Both the Mega Charizards are actually legal, because Chard X starts as a flying type. And I mean, even options like Pidgeot is pretty strong. So there's some really solid Mega competition, but Aerodactyl is really, really fast. I mean, it's disgustingly fast. What is it, like 150? 160?
I think so. I think it's 150.
Yeah, and that's revoltingly fast and very powerful. The fact its only boosting move is Home Claws is a little awkward, except for the fact that you're running Dual Wing Beat. 90 accuracy becomes 100.
It gets Dragon Dance. It gets Dragon Dance. I just want the accuracy.
Yeah, that's why it doesn't really need Dragon Dance. Nothing's gonna outspeed it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But with Home Claws, your Ice Fang's 100% accuracy, Aqua Tail 100% accuracy, Dual Wing Beat 100% accuracy, Stone Edge, and then you get Tough Claws boost. It's just One Hone Clause and it shreds things. And I noticed you don't bring Stone Edge because both types resist it. Smart move. That's how you know people are thinking, is when they don't bring the moves that are bad. And we'll see in some of these other videos that people brought moves that are bad, and I'm gonna call them out for it.
Oh boy. Well, let's not think that I didn't bring some bad moves in this match.
We'll see.
Let's just
An insult
you'll
to
spill
God
that a
here.
little more.
Grassy Seed with Unburden. We'll get bulky. 172 speed. I see what you're going for. Unburden, you're just fast enough anyway. Wait. Oh, use special attack investment for Hidden Power Ice? I feel like that's not... Is that worth it?
At +1, after a workup, it OHKOs Landorus and Glysaur.
Oh,
which were two
shit.
threats
Okay.
I was worried about.
That actually makes a lot of sense. That's a really cool calc, and that's why the damage calculator is so important. And if you don't use the damage calculator, you're making your teams worse.
To quote my opponent, Garret here, damage calculators are for nerds.
Well, your opponent is then a worse player of the game. Acrobatics, close combat, workup. This trio is a pretty tried and true thing with the Grassy Seed. There's a million ways you can proc Holucha's Unburden. Back in the day, oh god, imagine if if Holucha was released in Gen 5 and could just hit a flying gem boosted acrobatics.
Oh yeah, that would be
and then
beautiful.
Go straight into the Unburden. Oh, that's delicious. Okay. I love Unburden Holucha. I've used it on a 1v1 team of mine that I like a lot. I should do a 1v1 2-hour video. I play a lot of 1v1 and I have like 30 teams and I've never done a video on it. I love this Holucha set. Starly popping in here with the Fear Starly, level 1. I have a feeling these EVs literally do not matter in any way, shape, or form. Other than...
They do not?
I guess max attack adamant means your quick attack might do 1%.
Woo!
To something that is very frail. But the important thing is you get to Endeavor quick attack, take something out, and maybe you just Toxic or Whirlwind or something. So I've watched a lot of Fear. Elo Bandit is one of my favorite YouTubers in the world, and he did a Fear analysis. If you're gonna do Fear, the best Fear mon is Talo. For a bird.
I didn't know that.
So I'm gonna pull a Pokemon Showdown for this because this is actually there's a very interesting reason. Talo has some very, very specific moveset things that make it a very good Fear bird. The best, that's the best one-shot Fear. There's also, Sweeper Fear, but that's clearly not what you want here. You just want something that can trade off with something. So I'm just gonna go to NatDex AG. Or just NatDex anything. NatDex. Sure. Actually, I'll just go to NatDex AG in case I'm being stupid. Talo. Talo notably it gets Scrappy, so it can take out Ghost types. Which is big game. It gets Quick Attack, it gets Endeavor, and there's one other, I believe it gets access to Pursuit, so if they try to switch out when they have 1%, you still get to kill them. It's a little bit of mind game stuff, so it can be kind of hard to use, but someone can switch out before you're able to quick attack them. If it's a really fast threat that could really do damage to you at 1 HP. So Talo, mostly because of Scrappy, but also a little bit because of having access to Pursuit, is one of the best one-shot fear Pokemon, if not the best. Welcome, thank you for coming to my Fear TED Talk that came out of nowhere. But I do like Fear, and the important thing is you have Endeavor, Quick Attack, Focus Sash. And that's usually enough. Jumpluff, Focus Sash, Infiltrator, hits those really fast Sleep Powders, really fast Leech Seed, and is your grassy terrain setter for Hawlucha. With the Focus Sash, you can go grassy terrain into a Memento, and that'll let Hawlucha in basically for free and do its thing. So that's just some really solid synergy. With the Sleep Powder too, you might not even need to kill your Jumpluff, and the Leech Seed. Fantastic support mon here that really facilitates the Hawlucha and even the Aerodactyl sweeping. And then a bulky, sturdy Skarmory, Impish, Defense HP, Leftovers, Spikes, Roost, Brave Bird, and Whirlwind. Yeah, that looks like a Skarmory. Not a whole lot to say there. That's a bulky spike stacking Skarmory. I have played some Gen 2 OU, so I know my shit about Skarmory. Spikes is basically the one thing. Spikes and Whirlwind are the one thing that Skarmory still lords over Corviknight. So that means, yeah, Skarmory's got a place here. God, it's been 21 minutes. I need to hurry up.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna.
This might be a slightly longer video because I don't edit and I will never edit. Don't ask me to. I'm just here for the league, man. Expert Belt Crocodile, Moxie, Jolly. We're into Garrett's teams, by the way, the ground team. Knockoff Earthquake, Stone Edge, and Thunderfang for the electric types. Good call. Expert Belt's interesting. You usually see like a Choice Scarf so that it can actually outspeed things. Or like a Life Orb because it's a little bit more damage. But I see what you're going for with the Crocodile here. And it's pretty well positioned against Psychic and Flying. Well, mostly Psychic, because it's a Dark type. Leftovers of Powdon with Sandstream. I believe Garret has brought this a good number of times with bulky.
I think every time, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a great sand setter. It's the best ground type sand setter because Tyranitar is not a ground type. Slack off Stealth Rock, and then Crunch and Ice Fang gives you some coverage. With the 4 attack, I don't think Ice Fang's gonna do much. It's 65 base power, no stab, 4 attack. I'd wager to guess it does about 60% max against a super effective target for the most part. So I would probably rather have Roar there. If for phasing's a big deal. But yeah, it works. X-Rebel Excadrill with Sand Rush, Max Attack Adamant. That'll hit really hard. X-Scissor hits Psychic. That's a smart play. That's good coverage. Earthquake and Rock Slide, which hits your flying types, and Swords Dance. This is a real sweeping threat. Excadrill in Sand is always a real sweeping threat that you have to keep in mind. Mamoswine, Focus Sash with Thick Fat. Sure. Max speed, max attack, max speed Jolly with Icicle Crash. Stone Edge hits Flying, Knockoff hits Psychic, and Ice Shard to finish things off. Very well positioned here with the Ice type versus Flying, and it's got a good moveset. It hits really hard. It's just a good piece here. We have the Mega Swampert with the manual Rain Dance, which is slightly awkward when you're trying to set up your own sand, but you know, you do you. Max attack, max special defense with Liquidation, Stone Edge, Darkest Lariat. Under rain, it'll get fast and hit pretty hard, so it's an interesting threat. There aren't that many good ground megas. Swampert's one of the better ones, and your other options are like Mega Camerupt, who's really slow, and God, I can't even think of any other ones off the top of my head. If Mega Steelix, who's also very slow, but
yeah, Mega Steel.
Mega Steelix would actually be really good here. It resists Psychic and Flying, and could sit on a lot of things. It would probably be kind of poorly positioned against Psychic just because it's not super specially defensive, but it would be in a really good position versus that Flying team. I might consider a Mega Steelix here. It does get Dragon Dance if you really want your Mega to be a sweeper. And then Choice Scarf Landorus Therian, that's a standard Choice Scarf Landorus Therian other than its packing Explosion and no Earthquake. But for the matchup, this looks like a Choice Scarf Landorus Therian. And then our fighting team, we have Urshifu, very, very good call to bring Urshifu here. The Dark type is going to be vital if you end up in the fighting versus Psychic matchup. So, and it gives you just a switch in. I would give my Urshifu some longevity. This Urshifu is key, like key to surviving the Psychic fighting matchup. Choice Band means it's not going to stick around long enough to really take advantage of being such a quintessential part of that matchup. Wicked Blow, U-Turn, Sucker Punch, Knockoff, no, Stone Edge, no fighting moves, that makes sense. Choice Scarf Terrakion here, so we see double choice right off the bat. Jolly Nature, again, I prefer Adamant, justified. Mega Horn, Stone Edge, Poison Jab, Iron Head. I don't know what Iron Head, I guess, hits the Psychic Fairies, so it will hit your Lele. But Mega Horn would probably hit Lele hard. Oh, does Fairy resist Bug? I think Fairy resists Bug.
Yeah, it does. That's a really weird resist.
Okay. You don't need Poison Jab and Iron Head, though. I guess if you had a Grass Psychic, but that's like exactly Celebi, and you haven't brought Celebi yet, so.
Oh, but what about Calyrex? Ooh.
And yeah, you could also say the same thing about normal Executor, but no.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Poor Executor.
Komoyam Z Komoo. We've seen this Z move a lot this league. Have we seen it do anything good? I can't remember it being particularly good in any of these matchups.
Well, maybe it'll be good in this one.
Maybe it'll be good in this one. Dragon Dance just feels redundant when you're Omni boosting already. And then Ice Punch,
Really?
X Scissor.
Oh, yeah.
Oh god, it's triple choice. Jesus Christ. Choice Scarf Embor with Reckless Head Smash, Flare Blitz, Sucker Punch, and Wild Charge. I mean, that's gonna die quick, but it's gonna hit hard while it does it.
Oh, yeah. And it was named in my likeness, too.
Of course. Should have mentioned that. So I do like that we have we have the sweeper and then 3 choice mons, so you really need some pivot here, and I like that he's packing double pivot at the back here. And now I get to talk about why I love Mianxiao. Its attack stat is very high and its speed stat is very good. It's frail, but it gets Regenerator, and it gets Life Orb, and it gets Fake Out and U-Turn. So it can go clap you for Fake Out, take 10%, but it dealt 15. You turn out, it deals another 30 or some bullshit because it hits really hard. And by the next time it comes in, it's back at full HP. And it gets High Jump Kick, which is the highest base power fighting move. It's just a bop of a Pokemon that darts around, gets everything you need in, and gets Life Orb boosts at basically no cost because of Regenerator. And gets knockoff and good moves. It's good Pokemon. Use Mianxiao. It's very good. Okay.
It does get high jump kick, but it also gets the real highest base power fighting move, Focus Punch.
Oh, don't at me. This is in Gen 3.
Focus Punch. I love Sub Punch. Even though I've never used it in my life.
I've used Sub Punch. I used a Sub Punch Kangaskhan in Gen 3 UU once, and it was pretty good. The only reason to run Sub Punch Kangaskhan is to like punish Credilli in that tier. So, it was probably just worse than Choice Band Kangaskhan, but you know, it's fine. And then Kabalion with the 4 special attack Jolly Nature Volt Switch and Stealth Rock with leftover. This is his only piece of bulk on this entire team. Is this Kabalion with no bulk investment. Stealth Rock, Volt Switch, Mega Horn, Stone Edge. Leftovers. The movesets look really solid here. I need to get to the games quick because I am low on time. Is this the first match or the second one? Can you tell?
This is the first one. Yeah.
Okay, good. We've got fighting versus flying. Fighting, I do kind of like the fighting lead since it's at a disadvantage on both matchups. So just kind of get it out of the way first so that you can be better, so you can be mentally preparing for the second game. Flying here, the lead I would like, you could probably Skarm lead, but Skarm can get punched pretty hard, although I wouldn't expect him to be running a whole lot of fighting moves, and the only thing that punishes a Skarm lead, really, is a Embor lead, and I don't see an Embor lead coming out here. I'd expect a Mienshao lead against almost anything, especially since it hard counters this Starly. So, yeah, I would probably go with either a Skarm lead or a Mantine lead if you really expected an Embor, but I think Skarm's your best lead here because it takes nothing from the Fake Out or the U-turn from a Mienshao, and probably won't take anything from a Volt Switch here, and can maybe start spike stacking. But we'll see. We see the Starly lead against the Mienshao. As I mentioned, yeah, you have to switch out. It's a really bad lead matchup. But you go straight to the Skarmory, which I did mention has a great Mienshao matchup, especially with leftovers. Knockoff does get rid of your leftovers, which is a little annoying, but you do, I'm guessing you set up a layer of spikes here, which is really rough when Garrett's team really wants to be kind of darting around. He should get his Mienshao out of there. I guess since maybe he was anticipating a Whirlwind, I would like to see one more layer of spikes come out of this Skarmory before it went down. I would also like to see this Skarmory preserved. It's a pretty important defensive pivot against this Mienshao and this Terrakion. We see the Kamoyam Z popping out. Klinger Soul Blaze is going to do absolutely nothing to a Skarmory. Actually, 41! That's a bit more than I expected. And then you get Whirlwinded out? Yeah. Can we get a round of applause for the Z move that did 41%? I don't know why he Z'd there. Or why he switched to Komodo there. Embor is what you needed to do to scare out this Skarm. Especially since it had already shown Whirlwind. The Z there was just bizarre. I have a feeling this is a Skarm switch out. Yep, into the Mantine. Flare Blitz does 28, but the Wild Charge is a real threat, and the Burn is gonna actually really whittle you down because of Heavy Duty Boots being necessary. Oh, he's Choice Scarf. He can't go for Wild Charge. Kabalion comes in, eats a Scald, does not get burned, and leftovers up. Mantine is now in a pretty awkward position. It's going to struggle to switch in quite as easily without leftovers, and Kabalion's able to get up a pretty free Stealth Rock. But you're able to get in Jump Bluff pretty free here too. Eats 73% from the Stone Edge, and I'm guessing a Memento's going to come out here. Yep, Memento does come out. Hawlucha comes in for free, I'm guessing. And Memento also cancels the Volt Switch, and the Hawlucha does come in. This is a pretty free workup. I'm almost certain we're gonna... Oh, we just go straight for the close combat. Okay. That's a little surprising to me. Especially since it does drop your special defense, so that Volt Switch that they telegraphed is a little bit more painful. And Mian Xiao can deal this fake out would deal a lot, especially. Oh, you have speed because in Burden, and he didn't fake out. Why did he not fake out? That fake out, it's a Halucha. Would have done like 40%.
I'm pretty sure he just forgot.
That's really unfortunate. That Mian Xiao was, and he brings in Kabalion, which could have been useful death fodder at some point. And is now just dead because of the spikes. Close combat is taking out the Terrakion. Oh, if he had faked out and then gone into like maybe Urshifu or something, I've gotta think there was a better way to handle this, Halucha. Yeah, if he had faked out and gone into Urshifu the next turn and hit a sucker punch. Or even, here's what you do. You bring a Mian Xiao, hit a fake out, then you death fodder switch to Kabalion, bring in Urshifu for free after Kabalion dies, hit a sucker punch, Halucha goes down at the cost of your Kabalion. That's just a much better setup here.
That probably could have opened him up for a chance at a win.
Yeah, this game would have been a lot more attainable. We see the Sucker Punch. That's why I hate Choice Sucker Punch. Gets rid of his own spikes, but it's probably fine here. He's down to two choice mons, which is super awkward. Another reason I really hate triple choice. It just puts you in such a constrained position if you lose your pivots. Dragon Dancing Up is probably not going to help him here. Ice Beam hits for 43%, which is solid considering Mantine's special attack is nothing spectacular. And he goes for Clanging Scales. Oh. Clanging Scales is a special attack, and Mantine has a monstrous special defense. Maybe
base 140.
Yeah. His other moves were resisted by well, no, Ice Punch would have been neutral. Now, Clanging Scales might have been his best option there, considering your max defense invested, but yeah, now that he's down to two choice mons, this game's over. The fact of the matter is, being stuck with two choice Pokemon is, you need to be incredibly skilled to be able to pull off that. Goes for the U-turn, probably the right play there. But Emboar comes in, you can just bring in that Starly and pick one of them off. Or just go straight to the Aerodactyl. And just hit dual wing beats until you win. Yeah. Easily eats up.
I was really nervous about missing that one.
You did, notably, you outsped a Choice Scarf Emboar. Which just goes to show you, Emboar's not fast. Urshifu comes in. I guess if this misses, well, no, it doesn't matter if this misses because you have the Starly in the back. Yeah. If he had took the line that would have preserved his Terrakion and his Mian Xiao from the Halucha, this could have been a real game. Because Skarmory is very hard pressed to win this game on its own, and Mantine was in a bad shape, and Starly can only take out one Pokemon. So really the only thing he needed to get rid of to have a path to victory at that point was this Aerodactyl. And preserving your Terrakion was vital for taking out this Aerodactyl. So there was definitely a path to victory here. But losing 3 Pokemon to this Halucha is what killed him. Game 2 here, we've got Ground versus Psychic, a neutral matchup. Right off the bat, I think the Uxie lead's pretty safe. It doesn't really have anything that opposes it. You could lead with a Lottie Twin or a Slowbro lead could also be really safe here. Because you look at this team, this is all physical attackers. So this Slowbro lead actually feels, pardon me, super safe. I'm guessing we're gonna see either Hippowdon or Mega Swampert, depending on how afraid he is of the Slowbro. I don't remember if he has anything that's great for taking out the Slowbro. Let's just see what the lead matchup is, and I'll pause. We see Latias come out here. That seems like a perfectly viable lead. And the Landorus lead also feels kind of safe all around. Knockoff won't do anything because Soldew cannot be knocked off, notably. So if we do see a knockoff... Oh, Soldew can be knocked off. I guess I was thinking of something else. And Landorus only takes 67% from that Draco. Really? Wow. I didn't expect Landorus to dominate that matchup, but yeah, Latias goes down. That's a pretty good start for Garret here. The Scarf Lele comes in. Landorus switches out to Hippowdon, who's got some real special bulk. As I say that, it takes 55% from a non-Specs Lele. Non-Specs, non-Life Orb, just Choice Scarf. Okay. Damn. Does he have a Moonblast switch? He sacks the Hippowdon. I guess that lets an Excadrill? Like, you could even probably set up an SD with Excadrill here. Yeah, Lele is switching out, but I don't think X-Scissor will kill Slowbro. I would be very surprised if X-Scissor kills Slowbro here. It doesn't. It does 84. Rocky Helmet deals some serious chip to Excadrill, and Scald deals enough to put Excadrill's sweeping capabilities in serious jeopardy. Especially when Rocky Helmet takes him down. Severious. It's 4-4. Dawn and Excadrill, that's your best sweeper. And your Sand Setter, which is also your best special tank. But Slowbro was you're definitely one of your best Pokemon in this matchup, Baconator, so you turn dealing 50% to a Uxie, who has 130 defense, but you know, Landorus is fine. Swampert Mega Evolves. I believe Garrett's the one that usually uses Yawn Swampert, which I made fun of a little bit in the past. Sets up his Rain Dance and hits
use that.
Hits a Darkest Lariat for 79%. And Baconator hits an Agility on the Mega Latios, pardon me. That's the Landorus Death Fodder switch. I'm guessing this is Death Fodder to, yeah, eat the Draco. Probably a good idea. Preserving Mega Swampert has some value here. And it can come back and, yeah, not feel threatened because you're at the -2 special attack. Darkest Lariat takes it down. Rain has one more turn. And I'm guessing that's a Uxie switch. A Uxie sack, yeah. Just to burn out the rest of the Rain. At this point, you can bring back Tapu Lele, and it will, if he goes for Rain Dance, they're dead. If he goes for an attack, you outspeed, and they're dead. So Moonblast doesn't kill?
Yeah,
Really?
I was very surprised there.
His Swampert is specially invested. But you still outspeed. Oh, wow. That was a rush of emotions. So 262, if he was max speed, he should outspeed a Scarf Lele. But he has no speed investment on the Swampert in max special defense, which lets him survive the Moonblast, but not outspeed the Lele. Interesting. I think that's just game. Maybe Mamoswine can come in, hit a knockoff, and Crocodile can outspeed, but I don't think it does. Moonblast actually doesn't knock it down to its sash. That kind of surprised me. Knockoff deals 49. You can hit an Ice Shard, because I still think you're outsped. Yeah. Ice Shard. Oh, Psychic Terrain, duh. Okay. Don't be stupid like me or Garret in this case. Maybe Crocodile. If Crocodile outspeeds, you have a chance, but it doesn't, and it dies. And that's the set. Garret takes his first loss, and I'm gonna call the video real quick because we're going on 45 minutes. Jesus Christ. Okay, I have 2 more videos to record, so this has been the Big Goose from the Goose Nest with Baconator. You gonna say anything?
Oh, yeah, stay thick and safe, everybody.
I like that. Stay thick and safe. And
That's
what was the slogan I had going? Don't forget to.
I don't remember now.
Ah, shit. Whatever I said in the last videos, don't forget to do that. You do not have to like and subscribe. Haha. I said it. Don't like and subscribe, in fact. If you like and subscribe, I will. I just want to turn off the recording. I'm just being dumb. Stop.